I can't tell if my head's in it or not.
I guess so. It's in on the blanket.
I mean, yeah. What about like this?
No.
Okay, then come sit down. Is it
But
recording?
like in the middle it is. Like lean forward. Right there it is.
Probably won't sit like this. Okay.
Good?
Was it recording?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know.
Why is our house so cold?
It's 71 degrees.
We're back from Italy. Obviously, because we showed you that whole getting there process. And now Chris has been working away on our travel video, and it is
finally ready to be seen.
I can't wait for you to see it.
I'm calling it our double feature this week. This week's double feature.
So you get a vlog and the travel video.
So this is what we're gonna do.
So it took us a total of 22 hours to get there, and then when we finally arrived in Florence, we had an apartment on the 5th floor.
Yeah, something 4th or 5th. I don't remember.
It was the top floor of this very old historic building, and we had a rooftop balcony, which was beautiful. It looked over the city. We could see the Duomo.
Yeah, you skipped our first day.
I just went right to Florence.
You did. You just skipped over our first day.
The first day.
Yeah.
Was that Cinque Terre?
Nope. The first day
Tuscany.
were the two little towns out in Tuscany.
Okay. So we got into Florence that night. And
Yeah.
then the next day, we headed further south into Tuscany and went to 2 hill towns. One was known for its cheese.
Sure, it was south.
Yes.
I feel
Tuscany
like
is
it
south.
might have been north. Montalcino was
Should we
one
just
of
get the
them.
book?
Sure.
Sure,
That's good.
sure.
That'll be. We can look at that as we're going. So we got to our place in Florence, our apartment in Florence, which was amazing. We got in there really late at night. Like it was like midnight Florence time, wasn't it? By the time we got settled in there, it was late.
It was so late.
It was so late, and I knew the plan. We all knew the plan, like ahead of time, but it didn't really sink in that we were getting up in like 6 hours
And doing a full day trip.
into Tuscany on,
Little
maybe
sleep.
6 hours of sleep.
We got a private driver because we didn't have a car. And we
Yeah,
went into Tuscany.
That was the other thing. Like we had somebody who was going to be waiting for us downstairs at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like we couldn't change our plans. We had to be up and ready to go for our full day out in Tuscany.
So we headed into Tuscany and we saw Pienza, which was the town that was like known for its cheeses, goat cheese specifically.
Yeah.
So we explored that town a bit, and then we headed to Montalcino, which was known more for its wine. And they had a fortress there, which we got to explore. And when we arrived at the fortress, we're like, oh, it's a castle. Like, it definitely looks like a castle. Until we actually went to a castle later on down the road. But yeah, this was a fortress, and we got to walk like around the top of it, and it was just really cool. I think that was my favorite part of that town. And then we headed back to Florence for the night.
Yeah. And just one other side note thing. So after our night of very little sleep, after a crazy 22 hours of travel, on our way to, what is it called, Pienza? Layla got car sick in her car seat.
Yeah, that was that day.
Yeah. So we're driving up these like wild mountainous roads, old country roads, and she just gets sick all over the place.
Yeah,
And
poor
she
girl.
was just like, yeah, luckily we had clothes and everything with us, and the driver was super helpful and
Antonio.
This is our first day in a foreign country.
Yeah.
We're with a driver who we don't really know. We're definitely in the middle of nowhere.
And Tuscany is definitely like the rolling hills that you hear about.
Yeah.
So the roads were just as crazy. I mean, the sights were so beautiful, but like if you can just imagine driving through that area, Layla did not tolerate it well, which she's never gotten car sick before, but we just felt so bad for her.
There was just so many variables to like determine what it was.
Or if it was like the food, because we went to the grocery store,
Yeah,
like, all these new things, and then she gets sick in the car. But then she was fine the rest of the day, so we just think it was the rolling hills that got to her.
Yeah, I think so.
So then rewind to what I just told you about Florence. We went all over that city that day. We got to see everything we wanted to see, and it was beautiful, and the kids loved it.
That was the day that they definitely had most freedom. We did bring the stroller.
We brought the stroller because we were going from like one end of the city to the other, so it would have been a lot for Layla. But Oliver got to run.
Oliver got to run a lot,
like,
and
Layla,
she got out and did her thing too.
Mm-hmm. Then the next day we went to Cinque Terre.
Mm-hmm.
Cinque Terre. We went to 3 of the 5 towns, and they were all so beautiful. It's hard to decide which ones we wanted to go to. Riomaggiore, Manarola, and Monterosso. A lot of the trail was closed because of the mudslide, so we couldn't actually walk from one town to the next.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get to go on the trail in each town just for a portion of it, which was perfect because it would have been a lot for the kids to walk.
There was nobody there because we were there in the winter. They say in the summer, like, it is just packed full. Mm-hmm. So it was a little chilly and a little rainy, but it really did feel like we had these towns to ourselves when we got to them. It was really cool. And then I didn't decide this. Katie and Kathy decided this. If we're going to see Pisa, it's got to be today.
Because we were kind of passing it on the way home. So we went for it.
Exactly. We went for it, and we got there. It was nighttime by the time we got there.
It was just before sunset.
Yeah, it was,
And it wasn't raining anymore.
But we did it, and we got to see it, and it was awesome. Again, not a lot of people there, which was really cool. We got to have unobstructed views. We got to get Oliver to do the push it up thing.
He was so excited because the Leaning Tower of Pisa is in so many of his storybooks.
Yeah.
Just like his reaction alone made the stop worth it. We were only there for maybe like a half hour and then we headed back out, but we got to see it. We walked around the little square there and took some pictures and then headed back out. So then the next day we got up.
Another early morning.
Headed to the train station and took a train from Florence to Verona. And then we took a bus and we got off at the wrong stop, had to get back on the train, get off at the right stop, walk a little bit to Herb Square, which is where our apartment was. It was like...
You know the name of that square?
The prettiest square. Yeah.
Oh, good job.
Herb Square.
I had no idea what it was called. But yeah, that was just a chill day. We went in, we got settled, we explored Verona a little bit, and then we went to Venice.
And as soon as we walked out of the train station, you were immediately greeted by all of the canals. It was awesome because we didn't expect to just walk out of the train station and immediately see the beauty of Venice.
It was so much more than I was expecting it to be. Venice is a place that, like, I feel like most people have expectations of. It's like this magical land where they don't have roads and everybody travels by boat. And it blew us away right from the start.
It was really cool to see their way of life. We got to see all the boats that the locals used for dry cleaning, for deliveries, for restaurants.
Construction. Vehicles. So we roamed around, we grabbed dinner. Layla was having a really rough day in Venice. She was breaking her molars, right? She
just was super cuddly. And she was fine if you were holding her, but she didn't want to walk at all. Finally, she ended up falling asleep. We went on a gondola ride.
Yeah, we did the whole thing. Gondola ride. We walked up to some fancy bridge.
St. Margaret's Rialto Bridge.
The Rialto Bridge.
That's like the fancy bridge.
Yeah. And that was it.
Headed back to Verona for the night.
And we got lost on our way home. That was so unfortunate. We just weren't on the right bus. And then our last day was in Verona. There's this thing called a Verona Pass, which if you ever find yourself in Verona, I would 100% take advantage of it. because it's, what was it, $18 for the pass?
Our kids were free, and it got you into so many things. All of the Duomos, you could hike up the tower. Everything we wanted to see, we were like...
All we had to do was see 2 of them to pay for it. Also, it gets you the bus ticket.
Yeah, for 24 hours. So we kind of like stayed away from most of the museums because the kids aren't really into that. They're not very good at being quiet for that length of time.
Yeah, they were
we
giving
did-
us looks in the castle that we went to.
We did
'cause
go to one museum.
Told you to be quiet.
No
there were
touching.
signs.
You had to walk.
You had to move slowly. And Oliver was just running rampant. And we were just like, oh my gosh. Like, these are the oldest relics. Like, what are we going to do if he gets away and breaks one of these things? And they like kept telling us like, no, like go ahead, go see it. And we're like,
We were trying
"Just
to
see what's
avoid
happening.
all the
We need to-"
exhibits.
We just trying to go from the door to the other door. We're like, no, you don't want us in here.
The Torre de Lamberti,
I don't know what that is.
the tower we climbed. So at the end of the video, you will see this giant tower that we climbed. I carried Layla all the way to the top, and Chris carried Oliver all the way to the top.
So like with our Verona pass, it was like one of the things for free. So I just walk in like I'm not paying anything. I already paid for this. And the lady's like, would you like to pay €1 to take the lift to the top? And I was like, no. Like, no.
We got
I was
this.
like, well, I already paid. I'm going to walk up. It was, I wish we knew how many stories tall it was.
It was so
tall.
tall. 84 meters.
I don't know what that is. That was the end of our trip. We woke up the next morning and
Wait, did we talk about the arena? I don't think we did.
don't want to do all this editing.
On the Verona Pass, we were also able to see the Arena de Verona, which was really cool. It was
I
like
think it's
Third-
D Verona.
Arena de Verona.
D Verona. Yeah.
Arena de Verona.
D. It's D-I, not D-E.
Anyway, we went to the arena.
Yes.
And
it looks like the Colosseum, but
It's about the 3rd or 4th largest in Italy. It was pretty sweet.
Again, like it's bizarre that you can just go into these places and have free roam.
And it's also during like peak season, it's used for the opera, theater, and things like that. So they have performances and stuff. So it was cool to see it when it was just empty.
So, if you've already seen the travel film, we hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen it yet, definitely be sure to go check it out and let us know what you think.
Go watch it now.
Okay, we're done, right? Okay. All right, God.
Good luck.